And even my own party, the Liberal Democrats, are keeping very quiet about Europe, the single market, the custom, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But do you think that eventually we will go back in? I think we should go back in officially, not sort of just cozy up. We should be in there, locks up. But what do you think?
Well, I think that ship has sailed for a while, but there's no reason why we can't do what business needs us to do, and all individuals need us to do, is to get closer with our biggest trading partner. It's absolutely insane that we aren't doing that. Got to go, Philip. Thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. I mean, I could go on about it because there was some statistics that just came out. It's been 5 years since Brexit got done. Britain's voted to leave the European Union by 52 to 48. Which was a very, very tight margin. And if it had gone the other way, then Nigel Farage wanted a second referendum.
We should have a second referendum.
We should have a second referendum if it was 52 to 48, said Nigel Farage, if you remember. It's just that he didn't think it was going to be 52 for him and 48 saying we should stay. He thought it was going to be 52 to 48 the other way around, in which case...
We should have a second referendum.
He wanted a second referendum. So Brexit has promised a new age of British sovereignty, a crackdown on migration, £350 million a week that would be diverted from the EU back into the NHS. Did any of that happen?
No.
The cost of Brexit still being determined, but the government watchdog estimates that the economy will take a 15% hit to trade in the long term, while experts suggest that the UK has suffered £100 billion in lost output each year. Now, that figure is disputed. I'll come to that in a sec. Since Britain left the EU, migration has been at the highest level since records began. The one thing that everybody who voted out wanted, and don't tell me that you didn't, you did, has been the worst failure of all, migration. 6 in 10 Britons think that Brexit has gone fairly or very badly. 6 in 10. 12% think it's gone well. The rest said they didn't know. And that should have been their answer at the referendum in the first place. I don't know, because we didn't. A UK trade expert said, the UK has now significant trade barriers to its neighbours. It's something we'll have to live with. We're not allowed to forget it. There will always be issues. A Brexit optimist economist called Julian Jessup, a fellow at the Institute of Economic Affairs, one of them think tanks, warning, admitted that Brexit had made it harder or impossible for small businesses to adjust. He said the UK's departure from the EU has undoubtedly had some negative effects on the economy, notably through reductions in trade, shortfalls in business investment and disruption to labour markets. Now, that was in The Independent. In a piece that in Brexit-tastic, the Daily Telegraph, that same economist questioned some of these figures, somewhat unconvincingly to my eye. He says, what about the war in Ukraine and what about the pandemic? And I do believe that both of those things affected everybody, not just Brexit Britain. And then he repeats the numbers, that 100 million a year in lost output, and says that they are not that reliable. And then he repeats them and says that there is one that is more reliable than others, which has the exact same figures, and then goes on to doubt them. But even in that, he admits that we've grown by 1% less than our competitors. And as our GDP is about £2.6 trillion a year, 1% of that is 26 billion. There's your black hole right there. Every year. 26 billion. But it's not just about the money. Former Deputy Prime Minister Lord Heseltine said that nearly 5 years on, Brexit's been a historic disaster. It's destroyed Britain's leadership in Europe, just at the time when there was a critical need for it. It's closed off opportunities for the younger generation to share in the benefits of Europe, and it's denied Britain's industrial base access to the research and policies of Europe. Our economy is much worse because of it, and there's no reputable authority that denies it, said Lord Heseltine. He said, I think the British people know that they were deceived, and the deceit is measured in reduced living standards. Well, ask yourself, are you better off now than you were 5 years ago? Are things cheaper? Is the NHS all that it could be? Are you luxuriating in all that sovereignty? Are there fewer foreigners around your way? And I would assume that the answer to all of that is...
No.
Absolutely everything they promised was a lie. They knew they were lying. We Remainers told Brexiters that they were lying, and they believed them anyway, and would probably vote for the lying liars right now if they could. They're all in like Donald Trump's cult fans. It's as though some people actually want to be lied to. It's as though they enjoy it. And it wouldn't be so sad if the people that were being hoodwinked weren't so obviously being taken advantage of. Their poverty, their lack of hope, the dismal prospects make them easy targets. That's why Farage picked on Clacton, a dismal area of grinding poverty, ill health, chronic unemployment. Not his sort of people, not the type he hangs out with, but easily manipulated. I mean, the man he cringingly sticks to, like a fanboy, tells it to Americans to their faces.
I love the poorly educated.
He says to poorly educated people who cheer and whoop like he's paying them a compliment. Trump won in the areas of poor and low intelligence. The middle and the south, not the coasts. He won, ironically, in the states that make the most in state benefits, or take the most, rather, in state benefits, because they've achieved the least. Republican states are the poorest. They stayed poor, and they stayed put. They're in receipt of benefits that the richer Democrat voters on the coasts pay for. I mean, check it out if you don't believe me. And I say it's ironic because Trump's signature policy is to take away the benefits that his very fans rely on, to give tax cuts to the rich people who live on the coasts. I mean, if it wasn't so sad, it'd be comical. Hey, wake up, sheeple. It's later than you think. But, you know, what's the point? I mean, I can go down state by state with the benefits thing. This is, I haven't got all of the states because it would take too long, but from the top, the percentage of total revenue per state that comes from the government. Yeah, in other words, the ones that are addicted to, the state help, which is what Donald Trump is against. Donald Trump and all the billionaires that are behind him, they want to cut state benefits in order to give tax cuts to the rich, themselves, in other words, because, you know, being a billionaire is apparently not enough money. That's absolutely incredible. From the top, Montana, Republican. Then, these are percentage of total revenue from the federal government per state. Montana, Republican. New Mexico, Republican. Kentucky, Republican. Louisiana, Republican. Alaska, Republican. Wyoming, Republican. Arizona, Republican. West Virginia, Republican. Alabama, Republican. North Dakota, Republican. Delaware, oh, we got one. Democrat. All the way down the list, there's one. Followed by Mississippi, Republican, and Indiana, Republican. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so, I told you so, I told you so.
Hey Sainsbury's, got anything to help my money stretch a bit further?